and you can see it right there. A lot of the American public just doesn't support the methods used for mass deportation, even though they like the idea of mass deportation. In the past, you've questioned whether the administration was really focusing on the worst of the worst. You said, don't deport abuelita. Do you think that they are actually hearing the concern that people like you have raised? And do you think there's any improvement?
Very early on, I mentioned, hey, if we go down this route as a party, we're not going to be successful. And we're seeing some of that with some of these special elections that are happening. I am encouraged. I've seen the administration highlight more on convicted criminal aliens. I'm seeing Secretary Noem
in their
and Tom
messaging
Homan,
or in their arrests?
In their arrests and in their focus of going into the jails. If you go into a jail and you go cell by cell, that makes a lot more sense to American people than going house by house, going, are you American citizen or not? And it's safer. It's safer for the agents as well. So I think if we go down that route, we as a Republican Party will be successful. The other part of it, too, is to talk about legal immigration. The president has mentioned this many times. Last week, there was 65,000 work visas that he signed off on, where he goes, you're not invited to this country if you come in illegally, but if you're here legal, we encourage you to come, do it the right way.
Well, I want to talk about that again in a moment, but just to pick up on what you mentioned in your home state. You saw this stunning win by Democrat Taylor Ramett in what had been a reliably red district. And in fact, one of 26 state house seats that have flipped from Republican to Democrat nationally since President Trump took office. This wasn't a one-off, in other words. And in the Texas press, there's a lot of focus on the Latino voters as having really swung back or swung to the Democratic Party. Why? What's happening?
People are anxious.
Is it the deportation policy?
It's some of what's being portrayed. And one of the things I think is very effective for the administration is for them to highlight the people that they're deporting, put them on the website, show them and go, these are the folks that we're coming after. I would argue the Hispanic vote is what gave us, the Republicans, the House, the Senate, and the White House. And if we want to keep that long term, we do have to make a shift, not necessarily in policy, but in communication. I mentioned this earlier, a communication liaison of someone saying, hey, this is what we're doing, working with others, so it's not just a surprise. Prime example, San Antonio. We have a new ICE facility built in San Antonio. A lot of people are anxious. They don't know what's happening. This is $125 million that's coming to the community, have 1,200 jobs, and after it gets established, there'll be another $125 million with 325 good-paying jobs for our local community.
But respectfully, in the past, you have said this isn't just a PR problem. You actually looked at the numbers and found that it was not the worst of the worst in those detention facilities.
Right. It's not a PR problem. It has to be. It
is a policy problem.
It has to be a policy. And what I am seeing is they are going after the worst of the worst. They're talking about we're going after the worst of the worst. The part I think we can improve on is communicating with the local municipalities, those that don't have an idea, and be able to go, no, that you have a seat at the table. We want you to have a seat at the table. Even if it's different, even if it's a different conversation or a different ideology, you should have a seat at the table so that way your citizens know what's happening in your community.